We Spartans are descended from Hercules himself. Taught never to retreat, never to surrender. Taught that death in the battlefield is the greatest glory he could achieve in his life. Spartans, the finest soldiers the world has ever known.
Yeah, what were the motivating factors behind your choices on the blood, the digital blood?
Sure. Well, I've done this movie Dawn of the Dead, which has a lot of blood in it, and we had to wear raincoats while we were filming it, which I think is a sign of a good movie. If that's just me. But the digital blood, we just felt like it wouldn't do. If you work with fake blood, and especially guys that are basically half naked, it's difficult. It doesn't. There's nowhere to hide it or anything like that. And also, then the blood just can only reacts in a non-specific way. Like you can't control it. It can't do anything other than just flop on the ground and get the costumes wet. Die! I'm a teeniest bit of an action geek. A teeny bit. I like. It's probably not obvious from the movie, but as far as there is we do have an idea, and I think the idea, anyway, it was that, yes, you try and make a frame to some extent, like you try and find a moment that feels like a illustration or that is expressive of the book or something like that, but also that I had this idea that the Spartans kind of don't see the transitions, they kind of see, they see the adversary that they're fighting, and then they have the transition to the next guy kind of disappears for them, and that was sort of the experience of and also it was cool. There was one thing, we didn't put it back in the movie, but it's a deleted scene. In Battle 4 or 3, which is the sort of kitchen sink sequence, where they're fighting everything, the whole ridiculous elephants and rhinos part. There was also these giants that had sort of elves riding on their backs with they were like these little archers, and they had arrows and they were shooting them, and then these giants had their arms lopped off, and they had little hooks on the ends of their arms, and they were lumbering across the battlefield, and they get their legs chopped off, and then one falls, and the little elf kind of falls off and rolls. And I think it's actually Tom leaps onto the dead body of the giant and spears this little elf, and it's really just, it's sad. And it was even too much for me. I said, you know what, no, this is wrong. The first idea was, I thought, we should get English actors because, they have stage experience, and with the blue screen, classically trained actors will understand that stage environment and therefore blah, 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 right? Seems to make sense. It turned out that a lot of the actors that I worked with hadn't done any. I don't think Jerry's done a play, has he? I don't think he has. And so the other thing that it became was the concession of the English accent for the period film, I know that sounds ridiculous, but I thought, gosh, I've got to, and I got to say I had a slight political motivation too, because I felt like if you notice most of the Persians have American accents, like Peter Menza, and I thought that it was an interesting, slightly political thing to do. I thought it was, I don't know, I knew that, inevitably there'd be some political questions about the movie. And I thought, a lot of people have asked me, in Berlin especially, which is George Bush? Leonidas or Xerxes? And I said, I think there's a powerful argument for both. I think they're, it could be the Hunchback too. He was the third choice, but I think in the three-person debate, he would come in at the end and win it because of that. But I think that because I said, listen, you have the sun returning, you have the little guerrilla force. It seems like that's. I talked to this guy from the Orange County Register who said that he was he was nodding at me like, oh yeah, I did your movie. I know what you're doing. And I was like, okay, that's cool. You should read the graphic novel.
Before this battle is over, the world will know that few stood against many.